Ferrioli, District 30. I am very, very interested in serving on the Northwest Power Planning and Conservation Council, and I believe I'm uniquely qualified to serve on that commission for the following reasons. Early in my career, I was honored to be tapped to help author the Oregon Plan for Salmon Restoration. That was extremely rigorous work. It involved a joint committee. It was bipartisan, bicameral. And if you recall, very few of you were in the building at the time. Senator Burdick, you were.
I was on the committee.
You were there. The difficulty was we were facing the listing of the Oregon coastal coho salmon. And it looked like it was going to shut down not only the coast, but be significantly impactful on all of our forestry and fishing and agricultural operations. We were successful in writing a plan that met the requirements that the federal government had set for avoiding a listing. Unfortunately, the plan was litigated. We ended up with a listing anyway, and went immediately into the stream restoration and salmon recovery planning process, and I chaired that committee on the Senate side as well. I also got an opportunity, as my colleague has, to serve on the subcommittee for natural resources for Ways and Means, where we dealt with budgets and financial concerns and considerations for all of our natural resource agencies. I've been a member of the Legislative Commission on River Governance and served with co-members from Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Oregon, uniquely concerned with the same sorts of issues: natural resource, salmon restoration, tribal treaty issues, navigation, river flows, spill, and electrical energy generation. So those are all issues that I've had a little experience working with my colleagues from other states on. I was also a member of the Oregon Hanford Cleanup Board, which has to do with trying to deal from the Oregon perspective with the pollution resulting from years of nuclear power development and nuclear weapons production in the Hanford nuclear reservation. So when you add those things up, you maybe realize that I've had some experience in these issues, but the thing that compels me more than anything else is that water and power are the two most critical issues for rural Oregon. Access to water, how it's used, water quality, maintenance of habitat to keep water quality and temperature, and how that affects fish and wildlife are critical issues for rural Oregon. And as well, the access to low-cost hydropower. The largest industrial user of hydropower in rural Oregon is for irrigation pumping. So it's absolutely critical for the health and well-being of the economic underpinning of our communities. Those are the issues that we'll be dealing with directly on the Northwest Power Planning and Conservation Council. I hope I have your support. I'm looking forward to the challenge of helping to rewrite not only the power plan, but the Fish and Wildlife Plan as well over the next 5 to 8 years.
Thank you. Senator Devlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I am glad to be here today. I'm glad to be here with my colleague, Senator Ferrioli, who I will remind you, even though we have the same period of time in the legislature, in the Senate, he is senior to me because I started my first 6 years in the House. I have been in the legislature 21 years.
So senior to you, he actually remembered to put his name on the record.
Yes.
It's a hint.
Okay. I seldom testify, but for the record, Senator Richard Devlin. I have actually revised this statement numerous times today, so I won't reiterate what I've already said. I've been in the legislature 21 years. I have been an elected official 31 out of the last 33 years. I could recite all of my experience in the legislature on natural resources and technology-related issues, and I probably should recite some of that because in the legislature it's kind of interesting because when you do something for a couple of years, people forget what you did in the past. So I have served on natural resources committees in the legislature as the co-chair of the Ways and Means Committee and as a member of the Ways and Means Committee. I've been the subcommittee chair for natural resources for 2 bienniums. I've actually had purview over that committee as the co-chair, including those times, for a decade. I have actually been very involved in telecommunication issues, though that does not relate to this particular assignment. And I have been very involved relative to improvements in sustainable technology, being one of the longest-serving board members for the Built Environment Sustainable Technology Signature Research Center that we have that looks at these issues.